The next step in making our buildings is going to be to add details to our structures. So doors, windows, maybe some chimneys. Should I take this purple strip and use it as a detail on this purple building? No, I'm not really going to be able to see it. I want to use different colors. Sometimes you might have scraps, like I have this one left over from last week, that would work as details on the building. Once again, I'm recycling the recycled scraps one last time. If I think, you know what, this door's a little too big, I might need to trim it down a little bit. Yeah, I like that better. Make sure I put glue all over each edge, not just in the middle. And smooth it down. In your trays today, you're going to have a lot more strips of paper, longer strips of paper. Some of them still might be thick like this. Some of them might be skinnier, like this black one. Think about what color you want your windows to be. In my first one, I made all my windows black or yellow. So maybe the lights were out in this house, but the lights were on in this house. And my doorways are a whole lot of different colors, as long as it's not the same color as my house. I'll start with yellow in this one. And since I have a big door, I might decide I want some bigger windows. So before I cut, I'm going to measure how long I want them to be. And then if I want two windows that are the same size, I can take the one I cut and put it on top of the strip. Cut it one more time and just follow the line the first one makes. I even have a third one. And make sure my pencil line is on the back of the paper. That's really important to hold them up before you glue them, to know that you're happy with them first. Should I put one little streak of glue? No, putting glue all over the back. As your papers get smaller, this part might get a little hard to do. Putting glue on the back, gluing against the table. I might decide with this extra little strip of paper that I might want to make a chimney. I don't need glue on the whole strip, and the strip is already really tiny. While I'm holding this up, I can see how much is touching the paper. This is where I need to put my glue, just on this little part right here. So I'm going to hold it up to the glue stick and just kind of wipe it against the glue stick right where I know the glue needs to go. Right on its little foot. And then I'm going to rub it down. Maybe tap it. I'm going to do the same thing with the rest of my buildings. And if I think that a paper is too thick, I might decide to slice it in half. This one is very thin, so I'm just going to rub the paper along the glue stick. I don't need to do squares all along all of my buildings. Some of them might be different. I kind of want some long windows going across this building. So I think I'll measure how long I want them to be. And I think they might be a little thick. So I'm going to cut them a long ways in half. Now I have some thinner windows. I can even use the tip of my glue stick too, just along the edge. I still have these scraps. I'm saving them for other parts of my picture. I might do another chimney on this building right here with this extra white or extra yellow. Now, if you have one of these, please try and save them for buildings. Some friends may have been absent and need to make some buildings, so there may still be some of these rectangles in your bin. Please save them for the buildings. Don't cut them up so they're super, super tiny until we're sure everybody has used enough of these papers for making the actual houses. Try and find thinner strips of paper that are in your box. I think I'm going to do a bunch of squares for this house. I'm just taking my strip and cutting straight up. Notice I've made each one of my buildings look different from the other. I'm not making a bunch of houses that all look exactly the same. I also use a little trick where when I need to pick up something really tiny and it's hard for my hand to pick it up, just take the tip of my glue stick and tap it. Notice that I keep using my scrap paper. This little black was a scrap from the scrap that I used over here, and now I'm using it over here for my tiny house. When you're finished, make sure to turn your glue stick down, put your cap on, and any scrap papers that still look really nice like this, put them in your trays.